Your trusted connectivity partner, Telkom Business, proudly brings you the Entrepreneurial SME Show.
For a myriad of reasons, including poor quality education, tutoring services have become a much sought after resource for students of all ages. Welcome to another installment of the Entrepreneurial SME. I am Rams Mabote, and this week I have founder and CEO of Omega Academy, Tskanani Marholeni. But before we find out what it takes to run this business, let's take a look at where it all began.
I'm Tskanani Marholeni, and I am the founder and the chairperson of Omega Academy. And we're basically a tutoring company that focuses on the holistic wellness of a student. So over and above tutoring, we actually cater for their mental well-being, physical well-being, whatever the case may be. We tutor accounting, we tutor auditing, financial accounting, taxation, and managerial accounting and finance. This is for undergrad, first year to third year, as well as CTA. So it started when I was at home. I was genuinely feeling bored and I was just going through my phone, going through WhatsApp statuses. One of my friends was looking for someone to tutor their mentee. And I basically just volunteered my time. I was like, okay, I'm good at, I think it was auditing, and tutored their mentee. And then I realized, okay, this was beneficial for her because, she enjoyed it, she liked it, it was impactful. She did pass, she was writing a supplementary exam. So her passing sort of like affirmed that, that I could, branch into this. And I was like, okay, maybe it's time to monetize because this is something that I see myself doing. So location doesn't matter for us because we are a hybrid, we offer a hybrid situation, if I can put it that way. So some students will join online and others will join physically. So the only thing is, because other students are outside of Gauteng, they would have to join online because we cater to students across the country in different university institutions. What I do see in the next 5 years is impacting more students and just seeing them get, through their studies and qualifying. There's one thing one of my business associates always says. She's always saying, Tsakani, every single time you meet a student and you're helping them, they are representing families at home, families that need certain things change, certain dynamics change, certain situations change. Whatever struggles those families are facing, you are literally standing in the gap and you are assisting someone get over that gap so that they can, come home with a degree.
Beautiful business there, but I don't get it. You were bored doing nothing and then somebody said, help.
Fully. I get bored a lot.
But what were you doing?
What was I doing? It was actually the middle of COVID, right towards the first COVID season. Yeah. And we basically had students learning online and everything. One of my friends posed, hey, who's able to tutor my mentee? And I'm like, I've got time, let's just do it.
And that's how the business was born?
That's how it was born.
But how did you then get to more people?
Sure. So the very same learner that I helped, she volunteered her time and she's like, let me just start tutoring. And then she realized I don't have capacity for this. Yeah. Then she referred those students to me to basically get tutored. And then we walked the journey together with those students. At the time, I was very discouraged because I just failed one of my board courses. And I needed the motivation to continue, because I was like, I'm never going to study for this thing. I'm so tired. I've been going at it, So a lot of setbacks. And those are the things that basically have pushed me forward and helped me to help other people, essentially.
I'm forced to deal with that part. So have you finished the board?
Yes, I did pass the first board.
Now you got this. Good. Yeah. Excellent. So many years ago, when I was much younger, tutors were, students in the same faculty who were just ahead of you, and then they would be tutoring. Yeah. How have things changed now?
So it's still the same, right? And I think the premise of our business is that we don't want to just focus on the academic aspect of a student's learning, because I feel like as a human being, you have many facets of you. And those facets need to be catered for,
Yeah.
because to learn, like properly learn and understand a subject matter, you need to be in the right like state of mind. So sometimes you have students who haven't eaten, for instance, who go to bed hungry. You have students who study in a room with like big brothers, 8 of them studying in the same room where they're sleeping with, like sharing the room with their brothers, you know. So how do we then navigate helping you understand the topics when you're going through a lot of other challenges, socioeconomic challenges as well, or even mental challenges? So I then felt that, you know what, we then need to package this whole thing and make it a holistic thing. And it's not just us who deal with the students like from an academic or mentorship perspective, but we've also roped in psychiatrists, psychologists.
Doesn't that make your business expensive?
No, we've kept it at affordable prices for that reason. So when we do collaborate with people who want to assist, it's people who have the heart to assist and aren't necessarily doing it for, you know, the glam and the finances. Not that they don't get paid, they will get paid, but it's at discounted prices because we are looking at the heart of an issue here. Yeah.
So, you know, we don't have the same learning styles, right?
Of course, yeah.
Then there are those who lie and say they work better under pressure, which means they procrastinate.
They're lying.
How do you cope with different styles, and how do you manage to get people across the line?
Yeah, that's a great question. Part of how I structure my lessons, and it's something I encourage like the rest of the tutors who work for the academy, is you have to have every single student in mind in that preparation, you know. So I can't necessarily just focus on what worked for me only. I need to consider, you know, I had a friend who worked till late at night, but I preferred to work from the early mornings and sleep early, you know. So there are those dynamics I will have in the back of my mind to say, okay, not everyone is like you. So then how do you then translate information and help them understand how to work around their study habits and schedules in a way that they will be able to adapt and actually do well. And that's part of the lesson plan, is that you have to touch on the different ways that every student learns, especially for group classes. For private classes, it's not so much of a hassle because it's one-on-one. You already know what the student is struggling with and what their style is. But for group sessions, then it becomes necessary to actually look at all facets of the learning styles and all those things, incorporate that into a lesson.
Who's the typical student who comes to Omega Academy?
Students are interesting. Hey, is there a typical student? I would say a lot of the students we help, they're mainly like bursary students. So they will be funded to come, you know, to our classes. And then the students that really need the help typically are the students who realize late that I need the help. So you'll find repeat students who are like, I'm tired of repeating. Now I need to actually pull my socks up, and then we'll just walk the journey with them. And like, you know, they'll be shocked even throughout the lessons and everything, see themselves improve and like, oh my gosh, you know, and it's usually such a quick fix. It's not even the fact that they don't know. It's the fact that they don't have confidence in the fact that...
Or that the lecturer is bad.
No. No. But maybe it's always linked to confidence and maybe a misunderstanding. But to that point, we do deviate from the normal, you know, orthodox lecturing methods. We'll try to be relatable a lot, especially because the demographics in the classes, it will be primarily, not predominantly, but we will have like, you know, a very diverse array of students in the class, but it will be mainly Black students. Yeah. So we'll talk about businesses that they can relate to. Like, you've been to a ShopRite, you've been to Kota Joe's, you've been to even, you know, Jabu's Kota shop. You've been. If you were to start that business, what would you consider? And then they realize inside of them is like an entrepreneur who already knows the answers. And then we just work through that and we, you know, get them to understand how to apply themselves in every scenario in an exam.
Okay, let's take a break. Sure. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back after this short break.